Hello, everyone. This is Smriti Mishra, and once again, I welcome you all for this ongoing series of Jenny's Conversation. Today's topic is about effective employee well-being strategy to boost growth and productivity. A strategy without a vision is an illusion. With the onset of pandemic COVID-19, work structure and work pattern both have changed. Employers, leaders, career coaches, and HRs have transformed their role by bringing effective well-being strategy and adding a vision to it. All this is to articulate the organization's commitment to employee well-being and to boost workforce productivity. Today, we will understand more about this and about what is the present approach and all, the effective strategy and the way forward from our very special guest today, Ms. Santoshi Patam. So I welcome you. And about Santoshi, she is a career and life transition coach and strategist. She helps accelerate the success by helping people navigate challenging career and life transitions. She specializes in co-creating work-life integration solutions that help professionals do meaningful work and lead a fulfilling life outside of it. She works closely with the professionals switching careers or entering new line of work. That is, I must say, that is very important aspect that you cover, Santoshi. And
Mhm.
she also closely works with the professional who are going through life changes and need support and help to manage increased demand on their time and effort. So in a way, I can say she provides a great mental support that we all require at every stage of life, but especially when we are, you know, uh, in between the transition or we are shifting. So that is very crucial stage
Mhm.
and where she actually works and helps us and provides an ease. So we'll start with the session. I welcome you on behalf of my team Phygenics, and I would like to. I'm ever grateful to you for your time because you consider that it is the good topic that we should talk about. We should be very, vocal. We must speak and share our views. So once again, welcome to Phygenics Conversation, and we'll start with the session. So my first question to you is the COVID 19
Mhm.
outbreak.
Thank you.
The COVID 19 outbreak has upended major work trends. How can employers
Mhm.
prepare themselves in creating new well being strategies and boost workforce productivity? Because as a life transition
Mhm.
coach, what according to you are some key tips that you want to share with employers and employees around this area? So, your views, please.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So, again, I wanted to thank you for inviting me. It's a topic that's very dear to me, and I think is very critical. And you, as you rightly pointed out, COVID-19 has kind of appended a lot of things that we were doing. Um, but the challenges that remain are the same that were there in workplaces before. So some of the important critical things that I think employers need to be paying attention to, as well as employees, are, first of all, I'd like to say, employers, you get what you give your employees,
So true.
right? um, it's a partnership. Right, it's a partnership between you and your employees, and being in a position of authority always messes employers' mindsets about it, but it's always a partnership. And so I always like to tell them that you will get what you give your employees. So my main I have 5 things that I always tell employers as well as employees is prioritize and reprioritize your work on a continuous basis, on a regular basis. Um, Not everything and anything can be priority all the time. So
Right.
it cannot be 100% everything is important all the time. So you have to prioritize and reprioritize work on a continuous basis based on what's going on in the workplace, what's going on with the market outside, and things like that. So prioritizing and reprioritizing is critical. The second thing is not everything is like, I said, I say this 2 times because not everything is important all the time, takes precedence based on what you're trying to accomplish. If some of your employees are experiencing challenges in their work life, in their family life, or have other challenges than that you anticipated would happen, like COVID-19. If a family member has COVID-19 or has tested positive and has to quarantine, that changes work dynamics at home quite a bit. So pay attention to those and prioritize what needs to get done on a daily basis and communicate that. The third thing is setting the right expectations, right? Are you communicating what you expect from your employees? And
Very crucial and
setting the
quite
right
important point.
expectations.
Yes, yes. Very important point. Please go ahead.
Right. Because there is, if if there's uncertainty around something, communicate it, right? So it again goes back to not everything can be important all the time. So if something has changed, if a deadline has changed or it had to move up or something happened, if you kept saying everything was important before, people don't know what is actually important. So are you setting the right expectations with people? Are you communicating with them that, well, this week it's going to be a little bit more work because we have a deadline coming up, so my expectations are that, all of you will be available during these times, or be specific with communication. How much time, how many hours, what meetings are important? Not all meetings are going to be important. So don't, people go crazy about making people attend all meetings, and all meetings for everybody are never important. And I think this carries over from even before COVID-19, right? People would just put meetings back to back and expect everybody to show up to all meetings. Well, it's a good time to change that. Not everything is important. Not everybody needs to be on calls. And so don't overburden your employees and make it make them go crazy. um, the next thing I say is offer stability. People are always talking about flexibility, right? They're like, be flexible, be flexible. Um, I'm like, yes, be flexible, but stability is more important right now for a lot of people. Um, if they know exactly what work needs to be done and how much time and so they can plan how much time it takes them, what they need to be present for, what they need to, and what time they can spend. Like, if you have kids at home, if you have Zoom meetings that your kids need to attend, there's a lot of things that people are managing, right, at the same time. So what I tell employers is offer stability along with flexibility. People need to know what the expectations are, make it as stable as possible. Unless something drastically changes, don't go, make changes to their schedules, move too many things around. And if you expect somebody, people already know intuitively, right? Like,
Right.
if my colleague suddenly falls sick, they will be a little bit more work. People are smart. Treat your employees like they are. They are smart, they know what's going on, and be reasonable with them. Don't treat them, don't get too much in their business and try to control everything. Um, Again, that used to happen before COVID-19 too, but right now it's a good time to change for employers. Offer them stability. And then the fifth thing I talk about when it comes to wellness and self-care is don't fall for the trends and tricks and what everybody else is doing. It's easy to get caught up in trends, right? Like virtual coffee time, or, people don't realize if you're trying to do something because it sounds cool, just because it sounds good, like it's a burden on employees. Say I'm an employer, for example, and I thought having a virtual coffee time will be cool because some other company is doing it, and I'm having like all my employees having join it. Well, it's another meeting that your employees have to join. It's not work related.
Right.
So do it, do things that are meaningful, do things that are useful for your employees. Stop blowing your budget on meaningless things just because somebody did it and was successful. It's easy to come up with create. People get caught up in getting creative and new ideas. Do new something. Let's do something new. Well, employees don't need anything new right now. They need you to give them stability. Yes, do nice things for them. Yes, that's important. do something that's meaningful to them, not
Right.
something that sounds cool.
Something meaningful, and
So
they,
those are
this is the time they need to bring more humanitarian approach. Like they should now
right.
deal. We all have to deal with this situation, and we don't know. We are still unsure how long we have to go with that. So we need to be more humanitarian,
Right.
little more. And this applies on all the faculty, all the departments in any company. Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
moving to next question. This is regarding HRs. So HRs are using digital technologies like virtual clocking in and out. They are tracking work computer uses. I mean, they're tracking their employees basically. So, do you think is this a right approach? HR, the way HRs are tracking their employees digitally. So, do you think this is a right approach?
Right.
Your views?
It's a good question to ask, and I think people need to ask themselves these questions. When I talk to employers, when I'm talking to somebody who's in HR or people who are setting strategy for this, the thing that I always focus on is not about how much data you're collecting and what data you're collecting, but how is that data helping you, right? Are you collecting data because it makes you feel better, because it makes you look good, or it makes you make, you know, amazing pie charts, or look, make some cool graphics to show? Um, when you collect data, it needs to be meaningful and it needs to help you make well-informed decisions. And those well-informed decisions need to help you set the right strategy for your company, for achieving your goals and targets. So yes, it's inevitable, right? You will collect data. You need to know what's going on. You need to know the trends. You need to know what's happening. But then be careful and mindful about how you're using that data. I'll give you an example. I have a team of 5, right? If I have a team of 5 and I'm usually tracking what time they come on, what time they go off, generally, right? But what happens often is people get caught up in looking at these numbers and making judgments or unreasonable judgments about their employees. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's home situation is different, right? So how is that data helping you? Is it helping you set the right expectations with your employees? Is it helping you understand how much time people are spending to get the work done? And that should really inform you. It's not about controlling the employees, it's about controlling how work is happening. It's all about the work, right? Like, you hired these people to do work, and of course you want them to do the work. So focus on getting the work done, not about controlling your employees. It's not about going crazy with, hey, there is 5 people, so I'm constantly checking, I'm constantly looking who is online. It doesn't mean anything, right? um, People can, the more ways you find to control your employees, the more ways they'll figure out to. Everybody hates it. Nobody likes being controlled. Why would you do it? So I always
But
tell people, focus on the
I'd
work,
like to interrupt
focus
you
on
there.
getting it done.
I'd like to interrupt. Some HR
Right.
says that this is, company's policy, and we have such orders, and we need to do that. We need to do that. So,
Right.
what
Right.
you would like to suggest to such HR people, such HR department? What you would like to suggest?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, right? You can collect all the data that you want and make yourself feel better. Yes, if it's a company policy and you're going to track all that information, it's just a feel good factor. People are just lying to themselves that all this data is going to help them some way.
Right.
And the result is it's putting pressure on employees, right? Employees know it's unfair. Employees, they're getting stressed. They know that they're, even though there's nobody watching them, they're actually, somebody's tracking them, so their anxiety levels are going up. They're always worried about work. They're always stressed about work. And what do you think it's going to do to your employees? It's going to bring their performance down. They don't like work. They don't like to come to work. They just treat it as something that they really have to do, not really what they want to do. So it's your choice. collect the data. You can collect as much data as you want, but how do you use your data? How do you use that data to make effective decisions is what's more important.
Very important points that you have put up here,
Does
and
that make
absolutely
sense?
agree with you. Right. Okay.
Right,
Okay. So moving to next question.
right.
According to you, what would be the
Mhm.
best way to understand employee experience and job satisfaction? Because you, as a life transition coach, and you are a great strategist, you make strategy,
Mhm.
you help them. So, what according to you would be the best way to understand their experience about job satisfaction and all?
Right. So, when it comes to wellness and strategies around wellness, there's no one size fits all, right? There is no one solution that's going to meet everybody's needs. So it needs to be a group of things, or a subset of things that you do. It's not just one thing that you do that's going to be the magic trick, or that's going to fix everything, or that's going to be the magic bullet. So there is no one best approach, but there is a group of things, and it's very dependent on what work your organization does, and who are the people that work for you. I mean, it's a very boring answer, but people don't like boring answers, but that's the right answer in most cases, is
True.
that falling for trends and tricks, right? Tips and tricks, what's what's famous right now, what's trending right now. How is that going to help you if it doesn't help your employees, and if it doesn't help the company do business? If the company is there to do business, it's there to be successful. Let's get that straight, right?
Right.
And employees are hired for helping the business be successful and helping themselves be successful. So any strategy that does not take the wellness of their employees into consideration, it might be successful in the short term, but it'll not be successful in the long term. And so the best strategy is a long term strategy, and the strategy is to it keeps evolving and adapting. The reason why I say this, a very simple example I say this is, say you're a company that is a young company, right? And it predominantly hires younger people. um, Say you hire 20 to 25-year-olds. These 20 to 25-year-olds are pretty successful. They don't have family responsibilities, most of them. They're young, they're flexible, and all those things. But as the employee's life changes, as they get into relationships, as they get married, or they have parents who need to be taken care of, they have young kids need to be taken care of, what worked for them when they were 20 or 25, between 20 to 25 years old, is not going to work for them in the next stage of life. So
Right.
how is a strategy that helped them in that time going to help you during this time? So it's your wellness strategy needs to take into account who your audience is, what your what do your employees need the best to perform at their best, and it needs to adapt and evolve as you go as a company. And for employees, it's the same thing. What was good for you when you're 20 to 25 years old, your needs change, so your wellness strategy has to change according to it. And it's really about understanding getting a good understanding of what your needs are as you go through life, instead of always blaming the employer for not meeting your needs. It's very easy to become a victim in this and blame the employers all the time, right? It's like, you have to be aware your life changed, so your needs changed, and you have to communicate that. And employers, it's about being proactive about these things and helping both sides understand these changes that happen and why it's changing. None of them is a victim in this. It's about mismatch. It becomes a mismatch at some point, and how do we get that back on track is what we need to do.
Very important point, and I think all the employers or all the HRs, all the coaches who will listen to this conversation will certainly and will I think they need to include such important points that you have made, Santoshi. It's really high time they need to really understand, bring those points, understand
Mm-hmm.
employees, their condition. Uh, when I say understand employees' condition, I'm not, saying that you need to dependent on everything and you need to know everything about your employees, but give them some ease,
Right.
give them the
Right.
space that they can
Yeah.
approach you, they can come to you, and they can
Yeah.
just share whatever they are going through, because the stress level is so high, they just don't, they ignore everything, they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to discuss things. But it's a good thing that HRs are coming up with
Right.
some some good strategy. They are assessing their employees, but not tracking actually, because I don't think tracking
Mm-hmm.
actually helps for a longer time, but uh, their assessment does help. That's what I think, and I have seen them. Many of
Right.
the employers, HRs, I have seen them. So very important point you have made once again, and I request all the HRs to listen to this conversation very carefully. And you can always connect to Ms. Santoshi directly on LinkedIn. She uh,
Mm-hmm.
all the employees, HRs, you can directly connect to her and to know. I think she will be more than happy to share her views with you all if you have any questions. Okay.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So this round one question, I'm finishing it off, and we get very
Mm-hmm.
important points from your answers and all.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm jumping to the next session. This is a straight right question where you need to just answer it in yes, no, or can't say. You do not need to explain or justify the answers. Just say yes, no, or can't say. So first question to you
Sure.
is: it's time to reset employee well-being program. What do you think? Yes, no, or can't say?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Employee
Yes.
working remotely or working from home are more productive than the employees work at their workplace.
Not true.
Okay. Workplaces are not serious for giving healthy food choices for their employees.
Can't say.
Yeah, because many of the employers, they are really serious, but majority of them are not, because they think this is all about their choice. Okay. Um,
Right. Right.
Companies should encourage to give well-being gifts to their employees. The gifts related to well-being,
Always. Yes.
right? Um,
Yes.
HRs can best lead and drive any health initiative.
That's a tough one. Um, I'd say yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So moving to rapid fire round. Now you have to pick any one word. I'm giving you two
Mhm.
terms. You have to pick anyone. So I just want to understand your approach. Okay. Skill
Okay.
or ability,
Skill.
well-being or absence of disease,
Well-being. Always. Holistic well-being.
right? Rules or regulations,
Oh, that's a tough one. Regulations. Regulations are broader. They regulations always.
I knew that
Rules are
you
too
will
strict.
choose that. Okay. Discover or
Right.
rediscover,
Rediscover constantly.
preparation or strategy.
Preparation.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you a term or a word, and you have to just
Hmm.
say whatever it
Hmm.
hits your mind. Okay. Mental well-being,
Sure. Top priority.
employer mindset,
Needs to adapt constantly.
right? Strategy.
Overrated.
Great. Um, Digital wellness,
Um, have control it before it controls you.
Oh, great. Okay. And my last question to you, last word I'm giving to you, breaks in between work.
Mhm. Healthy.
Breaks in between work. Sorry? Healthy.
Healthy.
Okay, great. Okay. So that was a beautiful session, Santoshi, and I'm so happy that I am here to listen all this directly. And I'm sure this will help, and this will help to all the HR especially, because they are, now
Mhm.
very serious about it, assess how to assess their employees and to know what should be the best strategy, what should be the effective strategy. So I think this will
Mhm.
definitely going to help them. And also, Santoshi, I would like to just take a permission right now here only that in future, if we will, do such programs on mental wellness, on employee well-being, or something related to it, then we will look forward to have you on that platform too. So I just want to take your permission right now here, because your time, your information
Absolutely.
would really help. Okay. So with this,
Absolutely. It'll be my pleasure. Like I said, it's a critical aspect of it. And it's only becoming more important. So I would love I love being a part of this, and yeah, it's very dear to me. It's very special to me. So
thank you so much, because this is all just we are doing to enable a culture of well-being across the workplaces. So we need the people like you, the intellectual like
right.
you, to come forward and share your views. So with this, I'm finishing this session for today. And thank you so much, Santoshi, once again for giving your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smriti. You have a wonderful day. Look
Thank
forward to
you.
speaking again.
And you have a great morning. Thank you.
thank, thank you. Have a great evening. Bye.